All right, enough Premier League. Let's talk European champions, Jules.
Of course.
Atalanta, champions of the Europa League,
Yep.
playing against somebody else. No, I'm just kidding. Atalanta and Real Madrid. It's the UEFA Super Cup. And I want to get into the whole thing about counting them as trophies and whatever else, because some people do, some people don't. Glorified, whatever. I was just psyched. I thought it was a competitive game.
It was.
I would have liked to have seen Atalanta at full strength, with Koop Minor, Scamacca, whatnot, with Retegui. Didn't happen. That's fine. Real Madrid, better team. I don't know if it's a clue that the base formation is going to be Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Vini, with Bellingham behind. I was curious to see how it would work, and it looked to me like in the second half anyway. Once they took the sting out of Atalanta, they found their positions.
Yeah, you're right. Slow start, really, although they started well, Real Madrid, and then there's a couple of half chances. But I think the man marking from Atalanta bothered them a bit. There was a very good spell from Atalanta with the ball in the middle of that first half where they moved the ball really, really well. Okay, there was not cutting edge, but it was good. And then the second half, everything changed. I think Atalanta got tired, clearly. And Bellingham was pushed a little bit higher by Carlo Ancelotti and then had such an great influence on that second half. And then suddenly we saw more of Vini, Rodrigo and Kylian up front. And then when we see them in that kind of form, they could easily have scored 4 or 5 goals. I thought that second half was outstanding. And I think this is what we're going to get to see more. I think the Camavinga's injury on the eve of the game helped in a way, in the sense that maybe before that Rodrigo would have been on the bench and Camavinga would have started in midfield and Bellingham as a 10 and Vini and Mbappe.
You think he would have changed that much?
Yeah, maybe. But the Camavinga injury meant that really that was the only team, that was the only formation and starting 11 he could have played with no Camavinga.
It's interesting because obviously we're both Carlo fans, right? For me, the logical thing to do, I would have thought at this stage, and look, none of these guys aren't at full fitness, they've only just come back, is you have to come up with what you think their base formation is, because your priority has to be get Mbappe, Vini, and Bellingham, because those three guys are cast iron starters, right? Rodrigo, maybe not. Right? Yeah. And you go with that. And if you have to pull in some lunk from the B team to fill out your 11, that's fine. He's just a placeholder for now, right? It doesn't seem to, from what you're saying, it doesn't seem to be that Ancelotti views it that way, but maybe he views a lot more flexibility.
Yeah, maybe. I know. I just wonder how much of the Camavinga's injury had an impact on what they did then the following day. But maybe the idea was always the 4-3-3 and Camavinga would have started on the bench. I don't know. What we saw is that Toni Kroos, especially in that first half, would be missed 100%. They just don't have that asset now in that outlet. We saw Thibaut Courtois playing really long in the first half to nobody, and they would not win the first ball or the second ball, which I think is okay in a game like this, but why would you give the ball back to the opposition like that? So there's something to sort out. But when the front three or front four with Bellingham played like we saw in the second half, I just think that's scary for anybody that is going to face that team.
It is scary. They're obviously favored. I wonder, when I think of Bellingham and the evolution of and where he is, and obviously, he took a lot of bullets after the Euros, during the Euros, probably with good reason for a whole number of things. He seems very committed here. I'm not suggesting that Bellingham and Kroos have comparable skill sets, but I do think. I do wonder whether we are a little bit conditioned by having seen him play in this attacking midfield position all year long, right? Which I think becomes not so sustainable if you've got 3 forwards in front of you. Yeah. I remember Bellingham with really good range of passing when he was at Borussia Dortmund, when he was playing deeper. Does he have Kroos's creativity and touch? No, but when Kroos was Bellingham's age, maybe he didn't have it either. True. I remember seeing him play, but it's a long, long time ago, right? I'm wondering should Carlo be thinking in that direction?
I don't know. So it depends in which.
Because otherwise, you're putting a lot of stress on Tchouaméni.
It depends which phase of play, though. I just don't think if the ball is in Courtois' feet and looking to play short, you can have Bellingham that deep. So on the edge of his own box, for example, where Kroos will be or Tchouaméni is now.
Right.
I just don't think. I think you need Bellingham higher up the pitch straight away, because then it's too hard. Even an athlete like him, maybe the best athlete in the big 5 leagues, he's too far away from Vini and Kylian. So this is, but maybe you're right. This is something they have to sort out. The only thing is, Tchouaméni is a hell of an athlete. So is Valverde, and so is Bellingham. And yeah, you're right. They can pass. Of course, they can pass the ball nicely. They can do diagonals. They can, not at the same level as Kroos could. And I just wonder if in some games that just might be an issue.
I just wonder, against the opponent who presses you, gets in Tchouaméni's face, is it more difficult to break the press?
As we saw in the first half against Atalanta,
Exactly.
they struggled to build up from the back, really, if that's what they wanted to do.
A word on Atalanta, obviously a lot of big players missing, but as I look at this now, we're talking about them more, we're talking about Serie A, I have them finishing top 4.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, this is
the first half was still good, really good.
Very much a grown-up team.